It's now 3 years on the 3rd of October 2021 since I published the book Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5. And for me, this was a big personal achievement. I, like many of you, I'm sure, I can guess, had the ambition to write, to be a writer, to publish a book. It's such a rewarding experience. I've always loved writing. It's something that's still very core to what I do personally and professionally now as well. And so having that physical book, and I wish I had it here with me, I'm not in my usual office space, I have that physical copy that I've written, is a massive achievement. But more importantly, it's a collection of stories of other people, 50 people to be exact, who took that leap out of the corporate 9 to 5 and set up their own business, created a portfolio career, which is sort of a combination of different things, maybe continued with part-time work on the one hand, had a side hustle on the other, changed career direction in the sense of going into a different sector, or just took a massive leap and went off on their own into the unknown. And of course, I'm still in touch with most, if not all of these people, and I've been so excited to see their journeys as they've moved on. Several, if not all of them, have evolved their business model, their focus, their lifestyle, and that's what's so exciting. And I think that's really important to recognise as well. If we're in it for the long haul, if you're in it for the long haul, now you may be just at the beginning of the process, in which case, you know, it feels perhaps a bit difficult to hear that it's going to take time and it might change, and why do I even bother with the strategy if it's going to look different anyway? But what's exciting is exactly that we have the opportunity to change, to evolve, to make it work for us. I left my job in 2013, and I've just recently, and I know I've talked about this before, but I've recently realised how not recent that is now. It's, you know, I was as long in the corporate world as I've now been out, which is a big thing. My big sabbatical across South America, my big adventure, is now 8 years ago. The consulting I did for the first couple of years, that feels quite a long time ago, although I continue to work doing some consulting and training for companies as well. You know, it's exciting to see how time passes. Sometimes frustrating to see we haven't built as much as we had hoped. I wanted to write that next book, and I wanted to do this, that and the other, launch that course and so on. In my case, my life has evolved from managing my business on the road, being that young single digital nomad on the one hand, through to actually now having 2 young kids. They're starting nursery gradually, so I will again have a bit more time to focus on the business. But of course, the flexibility that the business affords me has been amazing the last year or so with the pandemic, with the kids at home and so on. So my lifestyle has evolved. I now have a partner as well. That's an important person, an important priority in my life. My big rocks have evolved, and therefore my business model continues to evolve and so on. So all this to say that it's an exciting journey and it will evolve. And in fact, my next book, when I get around to publishing it, is outside of the 9 to 5. So it's the follow-on from Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5. It's the next phase, because again, all these people I spoke to, as much as maybe 7 years ago now, the early ones, have either continued to be in business, evolved, shifted, or perhaps in some cases chosen to take a different role. And that's okay, that's completely possible, and in some cases desirable. So it's really interesting to see that next phase, to see what it takes to keep it going, if we want to keep it going, to evolve it if that's necessary or something we want to do, and maybe to shift our definition of success as well. So celebrating leaving the corporate 9 to 5 this year, bit of a detour there through the last many years of my experience of leaving the 9 to 5. If you don't have your copy yet though, I'd really encourage you to get it. If you're at the beginning of the journey, if you're just a bit curious, or if you just want to read about inspiring people, you can grab your copy on your local Amazon site, or you can go to my website at leavingthecorporate9to5.com. It is Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5. You can search that on Amazon. You've got the Kindle and paperback at the moment. Again, celebrating 3 years now. The stories are still as valid as ever. The stories will have evolved since then, and watch this space for the follow-up that's coming very soon, hopefully in 2022. But do grab your copy if you don't already have it. We're celebrating 3 years of leaving the corporate 9 to 5.